This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show. Your war room for insider news and draft analysis from deep within the confines of Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
The Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Smith.
And now, your host, Kyle Yeomans.
Today is Thursday, March 30th, 2023, as we are now officially 28 days away from the NFL Draft in Kansas City, Missouri. Welcome to the Draft Show, presented by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. It's Miller time. We have a packed house today, packed show today as well. Bobby Belt, Brian Broaddus, Zach Wolchuk, Aisha Morrison. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Everybody, how we doing?
Happy opening day.
Happy opening day.
You guys were right.
Let's go Rangers.
Let's go UNT.
You're darn right.
Hey, NIT championship tonight, baby.
That's what it's all about, baby.
You guys must be feeling like a top 70 basketball team right about now.
Feeling
Hey,
great,
we're still
man.
playing, Bob.
Bobby's
We're still playing.
so petty.
I don't know what happened to Texas.
Our net ranking was a solid 58 whenever the tournament came around. So that's going up.
No,
we're, gonna get there.
we're the 69th best team in the country.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's okay, though.
You're doing bits over there, aren't you?
No, that's just fact.
That's factual. 68 NCAA tournament teams, if they win the NIT.
Oh,
they're
okay.
That'd be the
I thought you were doing
69.
bits.
No, but I think we could have.
It is nice,
We
though.
should have made the tournament, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and it is what it is.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Nope.
Thank you, everybody that asked me to watch some other players yesterday.
Ooh.
Appreciate you.
Yeah?
Learned something about some offensive guards.
Yeah.
That appreciate you over there, young scout. Good job. Thank you.
What did you learn?
I'll tell you what. I think that when you start to talk about the guys like Zavala, and you talk about Mafi, if you're looking at the 300 and I got to fix this camera because you got to show some of my beautiful face there.
Love it.
This thank you there, Bamer. Why don't you say something to me, man? But the thing about it is that these 320-pound guys at guards, we got to figure this out. There's plenty of them now. There's plenty, and I'm not just saying for Dallas Cowboys, but the league needs to figure these guys out. I kind of feel it's a top-heavy group a little bit, but now you add some guys like I didn't have Zavala and I didn't have Mafi, and I appreciate you guys saying, "Hey, no, Broaddus, watch these guys," because those are 320-pound guys that when you start to talk about. To me, the Torrances, the Avias, the Bradfords, these guys are kind of in that mix with those cats. Mm-hmm. So now I went from having 3 320-pound guys to having 5 320-pound guys. But we got to figure that out because you're going to stack your board and you're going to think, okay, which one of these guys do I like the best?
Right.
Is Torrance my guy? Well, wait, he does this. Avia, wait, he can play center. Mafi, hey, my God, he is like bullying people down the field. I'm watching UCLA because you're watching the back. You're watching Charbonneau run the ball, or you're watching the quarterback that's got 7 names, Dorian Thompson Robinson or Robinson Thompson, or one of those things.
Hyphenated.
Yeah, and you're watching him play, and you're going, wait a minute, this guard is just who's this guard that's number 56 that's just mauling people down the field. And see, that's what I'm saying. This is the great thing about still having some time to do this, is that you can find some guys, and it's not just something magical that these guys showed up. Along the way, I mean, these teams aren't missing guys like this. Media scouts, we're putting a little catch-up right now on some guys that maybe didn't go to the combine, maybe didn't do this, maybe didn't do that.
Who'd you think was better, Mafi or Zavala?
I like Moffitt. Mafi better.
Okay, I'm with you. Mafi is super intriguing, man.
Yeah.
When you the converted from defensive tackle,
Right.
I think it's best football.
Oh, she nailed it yesterday.
Yeah, everything
She
he
had
said,
him right.
I looked at Mafi and I was like, geez, I would draft the heck out of this kid. Now he does need to improve in pass blocking a little bit. He's a little raw there, but I mean, dude, his nastiness and run blocking. You can run behind him all day.
I didn't think the pass blocking was terrible.
No, it wasn't bad.
And he plays with a quarterback, by the way, that doesn't just stand in the pocket.
No, he scrambles.
This quarterback for UCLA is like, all right, it's like he's back, he sets, he's now running for 28 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, if you as a pass blocker, you're kind of thinking, where is this guy going to end up?
Right.
You're thinking like block. He's running, and now I got to go. I mean, I don't know about pass sets and stuff like that. The guy at North Carolina State, more of a pass blocker because the quarterback was a stationary player.
Yeah, Leary.
Yeah, he's like, stand there, throw, that kind of thing.
Zavala, just the body type, kind of gave me Ron Leary vibes.
6'5", 325.
Just the way that he looked, just in his build.
I'll tell you what, and this is what makes, and this is Cowboy-centric on the talk, and we talked about this on the break yesterday, and we talked about it on 105.3 The Fan. Fundamentally, to hear to hear that Steele is going to play left guard, to me, fundamentally is everything against what Jerry Jones believes. At the position. When you start to talk about the front of the pocket and you start to talk about the tackles are responsible for the width and the front of the pocket's responsible for the depth. That's when you have the Ron Leary. That's when you have the Travis Frederick. That's when you have the Zach Martin.
Yeah.
You need somebody. Quarterbacks can handle stuff coming off the edge. It's the stuff in their face. So if you're playing with smaller guys, we saw that if you're Cowboys centric again. Connor Williams. We saw what kind of a guy that struggles with power can play, how that affects. They moved on from him.
I agree.
They moved on. They put Connor McGovern in there, who's a block, like a Coke machine, like guy. Boom, right in the middle, of that line. That's why, to me, Steele, nothing against him. Tremendous athlete. He's a tackle. He's not a guard. That's why I can't buy in, and that's why I'm glad you told me about to look at these guys. And again, instead of 3 guys, I got 5 guys that I could look at right now. And not just in the first round, but maybe the second round, third round, fourth round as this thing wears on.
Aisha, where does Chandler Zavala, NC State, where does he rank in terms of what Brian's talking about here, those big blocking guys up front? Is he more of a Connor Williams or is he more of a Connor McGovern in terms of the size? And the build, if he's close to Ron Leary.
Who would you play with if you had the guys that you've seen of those 320-pound guys? Who fits your eye better at that left? If I told you it's about keeping the front of the pocket clean, who is your guy that you would put at that spot if they had to go that direction?
For pass pro?
Either one.
Anyway,
just in general,
just in general overall.
Out of the guards,
Yeah.
out of the starting guards, it would be, for me, for the technical side of things, it would be between Avila,
Yeah.
and the other gentleman.
Mafi?
I feel like Mafi's good. I feel like he's better at run.
Okay.
But
So
no.
C agrees with you on the run block.
No,
I
Mafi
think
is a
he's-
dominant run blocker. I think he just needs to get his hand fighting better.
Yeah.
And I think that's just going to improve with playing the position, right? He's only done it for 2 years.
I don't know. I like Zavala. I like the way
He is tough. Both
able
these
to
guys are
keep
tough.
guys at bay. Like
Yeah.
he can keep distance, I think, well enough to give you enough in the pass, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you because I want at guard. I mean, I think when this team was at their best and you had Ron Leary there at left guard, he was putting people on their rear, man.
Yes, he
Mafi
was.
downhill. I like Mafi downhill.
Yeah.
But he also too, if I read correctly, he has had some flex at right guard.
Right.
Which, when you start talking about, I don't know all the business, but when y'all
Yeah.
talked about, maybe Zach Martin,
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on.
feeling away.
Yeah.
Flex is something this team values at this point. So
Yeah.
That's just
No question.
He's one of my dudes. Mafi is one of them. I was so impressed with watching him. And I think that people are gonna hopefully they don't miss out on him.
Yeah, I'm with you on Mafi. Zavala, I saw a stat on him. This was wild. They averaged 172 yards per game on the ground with him on the field.
Yeah.
It dropped to 93 yards per game without him because he missed the last 7 games with a back injury.
Yeah. See, that's something we have to look at now.
Exactly.
Offensive lineman back, that anytime the back, you just, we've lived it here, again, Cowboy centric. You've lived it with Tyron Smith. You live that. You don't want to be that guy that's waking up in Philadelphia getting ready for a game and the bed was too bad and lumpy and all that, and they woke up with a bad back.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched Zavala, but I do know just from asking around about him and talking to some people, that's one of the concerns is just because back surgeries are very scary for offensive linemen, especially that early in somebody's career.
I was talking with Dane Brugler last night about this, and he was
Name drop.
Yeah, and Dane was he made it. It made us all. I was talking to him about it, and I said, "This guy's visiting people, isn't he?" He goes, "Yeah, he went at the combine. A lot of 30 visits for Zavala." Because they're trying to figure out about the back.
People want to see him up
they
close.
They want to talk to him. They know the athletic ability. They know the playing. They're trying to get the physical. They're trying to think. This might be a guy that we go through, and all of a sudden Aisha we go, who's your best player on the board? And she says Zavala, and he's dropped a little bit, and we're all looking at each other, and it might be because the back didn't check out right.
Yeah, he looked. We talked about it yesterday. He looked great on his pro day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people wanted, like you said, want to see him up close and personal, and he put everything on display. I guess we'll check into the physical. But
Yeah, I'm gonna make some calls. on that.
Cowboys have shown some level of interest in Mafi. I don't know to what extent. It's very hard. Whenever you get these trickled out reports through social media and stuff like that, a lot of times they'll start reporting, that Mafi has visits with these teams or 30 visits with these teams. A lot of times these kids don't understand the terms at all. They just know I've met with that team, and so when they say, "Did you have a 30 visit with them?" or "Oh, you've met with them," was it a 30 visit? So
or like Dallas Day,
right?
For instance.
Some people have reported that Mafi's got a 30 with Dallas, but there's no real way to be able to tell because of.
He'll tweet out a picture with Jerry Jones, and that'll be.
But they've probably
he's Jerry's guy.
Most of these guys,
the Sam Williams of this draft, baby.
These guys love like taking a picture with Jerry Jones. That you can kind of put it all together.
You get to come to the Star, take a picture, Jerry. I know he's meeting with San Francisco. I did see that reported.
I synced it.
Yeah, and you can that physical grit. Yeah.
Yeah, the way they run the ball. Like,
Absolutely.
He's
It's a fit.
guy.
And he started as a defensive tackle, right?
Yes. And
so
he actually played next to Osa Digizua his sophomore year.
Yeah. So he got some ties, too. I
like
wrote that in my notes.
That's physicality to it. I like that. I like the idea. Speaking of these visits and speaking of Dallas Day is tomorrow. Cowboys have the prospects coming in either tonight or tomorrow morning to work out with everybody tomorrow. Bobby, I know you've got your finger on the pulse of everything.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of guys that qualify that really anybody that went to North Texas, TCU, SMU, they're all able to come here. Anybody who went to I believe the exact term they use is the metropolitan area. And when you say, okay, NFL,
is it
what's
50
the metropolitan?
miles?
No, it's not. It's not a mileage thing. They count it as contiguous suburbs.
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
They literally use like a map to tell you where the line stops.
Okay, it used to be the 50-mile radius rule back in the day.
It can be very confusing who qualifies and who doesn't just based off of where they went to high school. But if you went to high school in the metropolitan area or you went to North Texas, SMU, whatever else, you can go. And you're eligible to go. Typically, the Cowboys will invite everybody that's eligible to come who's potentially draftable. But some of the people that I know will be there tomorrow, couple TCU kids, Allen Ollie, the offensive lineman, Hodges Tomlinson, the corner, D. Winters, the linebacker, he'll be there. Marvin Mims is going to be here on Friday as part of that. Malik Knowles, receiver at Kansas State, he'll be here. Jimmy Phillips, the linebacker at SMU. Keelan Harris at Oklahoma Baptist, who's got some return game to aspects to him as well. He's somebody that'll be here. And then Calvin Avery, defensive tackle from Illinois. He's like a true one technique, just mammoth man. And I think he actually, at his pro day recently, at 340 pounds, his vertical is like 31 inches, which is an insane number for somebody that big. But a lot of different people coming in on Friday for Dallas Day.
Let me ask you this then. If you may not know this specifically, but does Rockwall count as a contiguous?
Yes. So Jackson Smith and Jigba would be available.
Okay.
Now is he invited? I don't know. If he gets invited, is it something where maybe he's got a 30 visit lined up and it doesn't, it's not something where he's available to do it?
They could play with the rules a little bit there, can't they?
There's some flexibility. I know a couple years back, for instance, Max Crosby had the Dallas local day and the Detroit local day were on the same day. So he was in Detroit for that one because he went to Eastern Michigan. So Dallas was able to bring him in for a local visit separately later.
Nice. Okay.
And so that was
nice you turned that card in.
There are certain exceptions there that they can play with, I think. But how the NFL plays that out, I think it's up to their discretion.
Drew Sanders would be an option with Denton Ryan.
Yes, he would.
And then I wonder about Rashee Rice, who of course went to SMU but also played at Richland.
Yeah. And I was looking through some of these other names that are Texas or DFW products. Clayton Tune, the quarterback from Houston, who has a little bit of ties there, went to Hebron High School in Carrollton. Yeah. He's been mocked to the Cowboys. Yeah, a lot of interest with him. Have you watched him yet?
Yeah, I watched a little bit.
What'd you think about him?
He's sturdy. I guess
that's a great way to put it.
Very similar to Hainer in a sense of like, is it going to be flashy? Maybe not, but is he going to get the job done? Yes. I tell you what, Tank Dell made him look a lot better.
Yeah, that helps.
Having guys that could do that, but I feel like he delivers the ball strong enough to where it shouldn't be a problem with him getting the ball out in a quick fire.
So you say that you like the arm strength and stuff like that, the arm talent and all that. I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I think it's good enough, and like we talked about in this league with how many games are being played, we just talked about the possible extra Thursday night games last with Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Your backup's gonna play.
Yeah.
So I think he would be a serviceable backup, and maybe go ahead. Sorry.
No, outside of TCU, SMU, North Texas. Texas. Like the guys from other schools who are local qualifiers would be Drew Sanders at Arkansas, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Christian Gonzalez at Oregon. You could also have Tyler Lacey from Oklahoma State, Clayton Tune, like you just mentioned, Mekhi Garner from LSU. He would qualify. Sir Roderick Thompson, the Texas Tech back. Those are all different players that would qualify because of where they went to high school.
Would you bring in Christian Gonzalez? We haven't talked about him.
They would bring.
Bunch.
I mean, there was a few years back. I think they were nowhere in the range of getting Andrew Billings, but he was still here on Dallas Day because you take advantage of whatever you can. I think
and to get the information to maybe for other teams.
When I worked in the scouting department, and this is when the combine used to be a free for all, where you grab guys to interview whoever at night and stuff. We didn't have a first round pick, and we interviewed Michael Vick. Just like,
we're trading up.
I just want to talk to Michael Vick. I was just like, we didn't have a first round pick, and like, I grab him. I grab him. I'm like, hey, come here. The Cowboys need to talk to you. He looked at me, and goes, you don't have a first round pick. I said, yeah, but I just want to talk to you, man. I just want to talk to you. And so he sat there, talked to him, and we all talked, and gave him a hat and a T-shirt. And he's like,
heck yeah, let's go.
He probably gave it to a nephew, a niece, or somebody like that. But yeah, sometimes you just want to talk to guys.
Does it help in the fact that, because you're always comparing guys, right?
Yeah.
You're comparing this guy to that guy.
I was just being selfish.
You're just wanting to do it.
I just wanted to talk to Michael.
I didn't know if there was going to be an actual agenda behind it.
No, there was no agenda. We didn't have a first round pick. I just wanted to visit with Michael Vick. I was so amazed at how great his tape was at Virginia Tech. I was just like, man, bro, I just want to tell you. I was fanboying so bad on Michael Vick.
I know. I've never seen Brian really fanboy before, but this is kind of adorable.
Sometimes at the combine, you meet these guys and you're like, and you talk to them, but you're not going to get to them. You know it, but you just want to let them know that, bro, you had a hell of a career. You had a hell of a career.
That was Belichick at the NC State Pro Day. A couple years back when Bradley Chubb was there was a hot mic picked him up walking up to Bradley Chubb, and he goes, there's no chance in hell we'll get you, but I just want to come over and say you're really good.
Yeah.
And he was.
I wish I was as good as Bill Belichick, but that's another day.
I have a question since we were talking about DT a little bit.
Oh, I know what you're going to do here.
No.
You signed one yesterday.
Yeah, thank goodness Hankins is back.
Hankins is back.
Yeah, that.
We didn't hit that news.
Oh,
So Jonathan Hankins returns.
I wasn't trying to host for you. I was really asking a question
Go
about
ahead.
DT. But,
Yeah, have fun.
But no, with the Isaac Alarcon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do y'all feel about that? I'm asking, does anybody know anything? Like, what do y'all feel about that, Bobby? How do you feel about that? And
they clearly like him and his work ethic and the type of athlete that he is, but in terms of, I would never bank on that. He's out of the international exception. He's out of that this year.
So he counts toward a roster spot.
He counts towards a roster spot this year. So I think they just realized it wasn't happening on the offensive line. He's still got talent, and so let's see it. They've done some of this before. They moved Keith Smith from linebacker to fullback. They tried to move Lewis Neal from defensive tackle to fullback. And so, they've made some of these switches before, and I think it's just a last gasp for, hey, this guy's been in here, knows our culture. Let's try and make it work.
Can I say something real quick on him?
Of course.
There were times where I was doing games with Brad Cham in preseason on the radio, and you're watching the game go along, and he wasn't a problem. He wasn't a problem playing tackle. There are other guys that were giving up It's interesting because they invested so much time in him to play offensive line. And I felt like there was a little bit of progress there. I felt like there was, and now you're saying, okay, well, the last 4 years, last 3 years, you're going to now play defensive tackle. So I don't know. There were plenty of times those preseason games where he wasn't the guy giving up pressure. It's guys that have played for 25 years that were giving up pressure. So you're right, Bobby. This is let's see, because he's playing on the scout team. Is what he's doing. That's why they make the switch.
Yeah, and I think he was great on the scout team.
Yeah, because he's playing tackle on the offense, and then they turn around and say, okay, and then offense is up, and so now he puts on a blue jersey, or a different color jersey to go and fill in for somebody. So he might have flashed something for them, but man, it just they put a lot of years into that.
They spent 3 years with Jameel Showers and then moved him to safety, and so and
it's funny, they thought with Jameel Showers, that's one of the reasons why they thought about not drafting Dak Prescott, because they thought they had Dak Prescott and Jameel Showers.
They were.
That's what they
fans,
thought.
but meal
Oh,
showers.
God.
They'll admit that. No, the scouts will admit that. They will admit that.
Absolutely.
They will.
Well, I was just asking. I was only asking because I wanted to know if he has a roster spot now. If that.
I don't think so.
No, he doesn't. He's
I
going
don't-
to have to work to one. He's
gonna have
not
to work
got
to
one.
one.
Yeah, I don't think that prevents you taking a DT. In fact, I saw Mike Garafolo report that they're going to visit next week with my guy Roy from LSU, the defensive tackle. So I think they're still interested in taking some DTs.
But maybe not at 26.
No, I
Probably
think
not.
with the
Because
Hankins signing,
remember we all were talking about Mozzie Smith from Michigan and people like that.
Jacqueline Roy?
Jacqueline Roy.
Jacqueline Roy.
Okay, yeah, because I have. Okay.
See, the thing
like
is, like,
him too?
is it Jacqueline or is it Cajun,
Jacqueline.
like Jacqueline?
I think it's
Bye.
Jacqueline. I think it's just Jacqueline Roy.
It's not one
It
of
is
those
Jacqueline?
Louisiana
All
names.
right.
Yeah, you don't have.
That's why I just went with Roy, just
very
to play it
good.
safe.
Gokes Tigers.
Kind of long in the
Go
tooth
Tigers.
for people.
Jake Quellen.
Go Tigers.
Jake Quellen.
Don't start.
Quellen Roy.
Don't start.
That's the old Key and Peele bet. Jake
But
Quellen.
how old is he? He's a little older, isn't he?
I don't
He
have
was
it in front
he
of
was
me.
he was a highly recruited player out of college. He's from Baton Rouge originally, and there was he had some big time, like Alabama was in it, I believe Georgia was in it, and he stayed home. And but man, he's the thing about I have to be careful about these LSU kids because I love them all.
Yeah,
he's
You
good,
know?
man.
I always have to explain that when I'm talking to people. They're like, "Where'd you get the LSU kid?" And I go, "Don't ask me that question.
That's a bad idea.
Like all those kids are first round players in my heart. That's how it goes. But no, I mean there's some things about when you watch him play, like and getting rid of blockers and stuff like that. There's some power to that guy.
I loved him. I think he can do both for you.
Yeah.
When it comes to stopping the run, rushing the passer. I know I've covered him on the draft show previously, but big fan of his. Yeah, he was. I think he was just in a three-year guy there at LSU.
Yeah, he was 2020 class recruiting. He was the number 41 recruit in the country.
So big time recruit. There
I
you
don't
go.
know why
Staying
I thought
home.
he was like
Older.
We do have several of those though in this year. I mean, we got some like
especially with the
25.
Well, it's because of the COVID year.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these kids. Like, I mean, I saw a guy. Who was I looking at the other day? It was a 5-year starter. I was looking at
There's a couple
cornerback.
guys that are 6 or 7 year guys.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
nuts.
Zavala's older.
Yeah.
Was it Trice?
It might no somebody else I was looking at that was one of these corners I was looking at that was they were Smith maybe Terrell Smith maybe but yeah it was like 5-year starter. I'm like, oh, okay,
Barnacle.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, we've got Twitter on the 20, and then stick around because our final segment, we will have time to do it today. We have dueling mock drafts. Which 3-round Cowboys mock do you prefer? We'll talk about that right after this with more of the Draft Show.
Hey Cowboys fans, if you're looking for a full-time or part-time job, check out Liberty Tax, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. If you've got tax experience and want to help your community with their finances, you're the perfect candidate. No tax experience? We also offer in-person tax school courses locally. Liberty Tax has 79 locations across DFW and 2,300 offices nationwide. Learn more about our job opportunities at libertytax.com/hiring or call your local Liberty Tax office today.
Craving something flavorful? Replace that bloated burrito feeling with Smoothie King's new Power Meal Smoothies. With 3 delicious flavors like cinnamon banana, blueberry raspberry, and spinach pineapple, you can fill up on flavor, not calories. Each meal replacement smoothie is packed with 20 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber, and 23 vitamins and minerals, all under 350 calories with 0 grams of added sugar. So next time you want something flavorful, swap fast food for a Power Meal Smoothie. Order today on the Smoothie King app. Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm Darren Woodson, former Dallas Cowboy player and Super Bowl champion. When I played in the NFL at a high level, I relied on my vision to see the field. As I started getting older, I noticed my vision wasn't as good, and I was getting frustrated from wearing my glasses all day. I went to Laser Care Eye Center, and Dr. G talked about all the options. Thanks to technology and Laser Care Eye Center, I can see near, far, and between. Don't fumble your vision any longer. Visit them at dfweyes.com and tell them Darren sent you. They got me back on my game.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show.
Back here on the Draft Show presented by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. It's Miller time. It's also draft time, and that means it's time for some
Twitter on the 20.
Your favorite segment is back as always. We take your questions from Twitter. We've got a couple good ones today, starting with Mr. Cowboy, Ty Gilbert on Twitter. He says, no, not Bob Lilly, Mr. Cowboy.
Yeah.
He says, a few weeks ago, Brian Broaddus suggested that they may double dip at corner in the draft. Then they added Stephon Gilmore. What other position group outside of maybe corner, unless you think it's still corner, could they potentially add as a double dip?
Linebacker?
I was about to say.
Linebacker, the other one I would go with is offensive line,
Yeah.
whether it's like, tackle guard flex or center guard flex, because I think that they do need to start to prepare for when you don't have Zach Martin, right? Tyler Biadasz in a contract year. I think they get that done, but you don't know. So I think linebacker is interesting because you've got some young guys there that haven't quite developed maybe how you wanted with Jabril Cox, even though I was a fan of his. But that and offensive line, I think, are the two you could look at.
Could you still be corner, though? Could you still think, because Aisha brought up something the other day, I believe it was, about these guys all on one-year deals.
Yeah, you got Izzy, who's going to be gone. You've got, of course, Stephon Gilmore on a one-year deal, right? Yep. Jordan Lewis is in the last year of his contract. Who knows about the Trayvon Diggs? You hear stuff, maybe that's going to be difficult, from both parties to get that done. I know you've talked about that, Brian. So I think corner is an out-of-the-realm possibility, especially with how deep this corner position is,
You guys
right?
got Kelvin Joseph, right? I mean,
Don't be petty.
I'm
I was talking about. I think
That was a good one. Sorry. That was a funny joke.
What about?
It's been a disappointment. I'm sorry.
We ain't talked about it a whole bunch, but yeah, I think you shored up Donovan. Malik Hooker is this his?
This is the last year, yeah.
Yep.
His last year, and then Jaron Curse is for how long?
Last year.
Curse is in the last year.
So maybe. I mean, you do have Marquise Bell waiting in the wings, but Israel Mukwamu is a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So you gotta. So maybe safety is somewhere that they take someone that we maybe didn't expect.
Like that?
Maybe they look at safety, not double dip, but still just.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, let's-
You could double dip.
Double dip though? Like
take
when
two
I
at the
no,
same
I
position.
get what
Bob.
that means, Zach. yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Lord, here y'all
No, in
He's
terms
been
of.
up since 5:30 this morning.
Are we talking about double dip? Like when I say double dip, I think Cheeto and Jordan Lewis back to back in the top 100. That's what I
You're
think.
not saying
I don't think
separation.
because they pick two positions.
2 and 4.
They pick two positions.
3 and 5.
So what? So what you're saying is
2 and 3 rounds.
I wouldn't consider it a true double dip unless you're talking about picking two players from the same position somewhere in the first 5 rounds. That's how I would look at it. I wouldn't count 6th and 7th when they're throwing darts, and they oftentimes end up
Traits.
picking
No,
multiple people.
that's what I'm saying,
So
round
I would
between.
say the most likely. I don't necessarily think they will double dip anywhere, but I mean, they.
O-line.
O-line.
I think
probably.
O-line's my answer there too. If
You
that's
guys are against Willetsko and Ball and
I'm against Ball.
Farniak. Oh, yeah, Ball is.
I'm not against Willetsko.
I'm not against Willetsko either.
I'm also not against building depth on the offensive line.
No,
Depth
I'm with you on
always
that. I'm just
happens.
asking what you
Agreed.
guys think about those cats.
What about Matt Farniok? What is the?
No, I think
I'm not out
Farniok.
on him.
I'm not out on Farniok. I'm not out on Willetsko. I think you can improve on Josh Ball.
But I need you to prove it to
No
me.
disrespect,
on both of those
Josh.
guys.
That's
I
fine.
need both of the. I need Willetsko to prove it to me. I need Farniok to prove it to me outside of preseason snaps and training camp.
They love the flexibility of Farniok. I think they think in a pinch they could play him at any of the 5 spots.
Which would be great if we needed that. Like we don't need that right now, right? Like you could draft a couple guys early.
But I mean, it's like having a utility infielder on your baseball team, where it's like he's never going to be the primary backup at any spot, but the fact that he can do any of it basically keeps us covered.
But I think it also goes to like our tight end conversation that we had. You've got 2 guys that you like, but can you do better? It's the same thing with Farniok.
Completely agree. 100%.
I don't know. Something about like actually sitting here and thinking about it. You got Leighton. Micah is a linebacker for decoration at this point because sometimes you use him there, sometimes you don't, most time you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like maybe you do go.
You're right about linebacker. The one reason why I'm holding off on that, Brian, is this a draft to do that? Are there 2 linebackers you'd really even want?
No, I wouldn't say that. And then also too, we didn't mention his name, but Devin Harper is a dude that I am really.
I'm excited.
I'm with you there, Aisha. Yeah, I forgot about Devin Harper.
How he plays, how he comes along.
Don't forget about Devin
I should
Harper.
never forget about him.
I'm not. I think that he gets kind of mixed in the conversation with Jabril Cox at this point. But like I saw some good things from Devin Harper last year, and so I want to see how they integrate him. And then obviously Damone Clark is going into year 2, but there's no definite depth there.
Yeah.
There's no definite depth there. And again, Micah is linebacker next to his name, but in all reality, he played a lot of DN snaps.
Yep. Can I ask a quick question before we get going here? Of
course.
Nope.
Yashir Abdullah from Louisville. Anybody watched him?
Not yet.
Abdullah from Louisville?
He's on my queue.
All right. Need to watch him. Watch him and tell me what we think about him.
Okay.
Yasir Abdullah.
Yeah, Yasir Abdullah from Louisville.
6010 and 237 pounds.
He's number 22 from Louisville.
Yep.
Watch him if you would. Put that on your you got to watch list
watch him.
tonight.
237 pounds, 447.40.
Yeah.
I'm going to go watch him right after the show.
Ooh, 44740.
Yeah.
I did have a question though. Like, if y'all had to choose between Dorian Williams
Oof.
and
man.
Overshown.
Give me Dorian Williams.
Yeah, Dorian Williams.
I do like Overshown as
No
like a
hesitation.
mid-round pet cat, but give me Dorian Williams.
Overshown though looks so pretty.
He does.
That's
He's
what
got
I
all
said.
the traits.
Super
bro.
athletic.
That's why I'm asking.
I know that's
That's why I'm asking because
that's the eye test.
there's
It's
sometimes
no.
you watch them and you see some of the same players. So I
It's-
wanted to ask y'all what y'all feel.
You know who he is, don't you?
The Texas guy is going to
Malik
tell me.
Jefferson.
Malik
I
Jefferson.
said the same thing.
My son Bennett goes to school in Texas, and he said, "Dad," he goes, "You like the Overshown?" And I'm like, "He looks pretty, Bennett." He's like, "Dad, don't fall for that."
Yeah.
You know?
I fell for it.
Yeah.
I fell for it.
But he does. There's just times where he just has no awareness.
No.
He's like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I don't know where the ball's going, but he can
He
hit.
looks good, man.
He
God,
looks the part.
good.
Dorian Williams, I think, is one of the better linebackers in this draft, though. You could take him maybe 3rd round, 4th
It's a
round.
big man's game, buddy.
I'd be
Or
pretty. Yeah,
Zach.
I get
I
it.
would-
You hate the tiny guy.
No,
All
I
right.
don't. I
Yes,
love
you
the
do.
tiny guy.
I'll go out on a limb here, though. I'd take Deion Henley over both of them.
Henley
Agreed.
from Washington
That's what
State.
I was about to
Oh,
say.
I think we're talking about a
Different type of player.
I think we're talking about a player there who's not even is going to go much higher.
Second
than those
round
other
pick.
two. Yeah, like that. That's a guy that I think the league likes a lot.
I like him a
So
lot,
where do you
too.
think that Ivan Pace goes? From Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
He's 5'11", right?
No, I had a 4th round
Well,
grade
there you
on
go.
him.
I'm a little guy.
I wouldn't be
don't
mad. I
crap
wouldn't
on
be
those
mad
small
at
people.
Ivan Pace.
4th round?
I wouldn't be mad. Oh no, I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Yeah. I had a 4th round grade on him. If that's where you take him, that's where you take him.
I wouldn't be mad at
Where
him
do
at all.
you, is Noah Sewell a guy that is going to
I
slide?
Please, I hope he gets picked before the Cowboys pick.
You don't like Noah?
No.
Wow, you think they're going to select him?
No, I don't want to get to that point because that's one of those guys. He doesn't fit my eye right now.
I don't think he fits
can
a lot
look-
of people.
I don't disagree with you. He's super underwhelming when I watched him because I was
And then,
expecting
he, and
to
then he
love
makes
him.
a play or two, and you're like going, "Oh, he's back. He's in.
But he's got the awareness that Overshown
Yes,
doesn't. Like
yes,
he's got a feel for the game.
yes.
Did you watch just 22 on him?
Yes.
Go
You gotta
go
watch.
find the 21 and just watch.
Yeah, you gotta
And you
watch a
see
little bit.
more of it there. I think he had a down year, but I think when you watch Sewell in 21, you go, oh, that's why.
Well, who else?
That's
Who
why
else
people
I
were
need
really
to do?
excited about
Bob,
him.
is there like 12
I'm
other
just-
guys I need to do?
I'm just saying, look. You know who got burned by that? AJ Terrell too. AJ Terrell turned into a Pro Bowl corner.
No,
that
no,
if
my
you watch
guys
the
in
year-
Atlanta were right about it.
I know,
They were.
and when you watched his last year at school, people were
Dan
talking about how
Quinn.
flawed he was. Who was the corner you liked out of Ohio State? Sean Wade. You remember Sean Wade?
I do,
yeah.
Sean Wade as
Smaller.
a senior, I think, was not very good when he went back. And the year before,
That's true.
he was really good. And so
Don't remind me of that.
Sewell, I like.
Is Keely Ringo one of those guys? Because I did not like Keely Ringo when I watched
I
this
think
year.
Ringo just kind
Isn't
of
good?
is what you get. But I mean, I think Ringo like
Not a first rounder.
the traits are really impressive, obviously, with Ringo. And
One
if
question we
you
got
figure it
today.
out.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
I'm so sorry. We got to do a better job.
All right, so
bad,
It's your fault.
along the same lines, though, in the panel's opinion, this is from Mario. Which is the most likely? Yeah, which is the most likely projected player in the top 15 that can fall into the late 20s or completely out of the first round? Any of those guys that is picked to slide, most likely to slide? I think early in the draft process, Noah Sewell out of Oregon would probably be in that conversation. Now, would you project them top 15? Probably not. But is there somebody that's projected top 15 right now that could potentially slide?
I think it could be Breesy from Clemson.
You think he's still projected top 15?
He started that way.
He started
definitely
that
did.
way, and I still see some mocks that have him going in the top 15.
Okay.
But then I see some mocks that have him going in the late 20s, where the Cowboys are picking at 26.
I
He's an
saw
option.
one at 30. He was at 31 the other day.
Yeah, it seems like
32.
there's a lot of difference in opinion on Breesy.
Yeah. What do you think about him?
I don't like him.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah, be honest with us.
I didn't love. Look.
You're learning about this game,
and maybe if you're taking a guy at 26, I feel differently. But I didn't see a top 10 type of player when I was watching Brian Brees. He might be a guy as well. 2021 was better for him, but he was one of those guys where he ends up on the ground some. He got pushed around by Patterson, by a guy at Notre Dame. Ooh. He is stout versus the run, but guy. Not going to give you a lot as a pass rusher. He does get upfield when he attacks the guard's outside shoulder and rips to get into the backfield, but I thought he was just like a good complementary football player. I didn't see as a first-rounder I want to impact guy. I think he can fit in and just be a serviceable player to a defense. I didn't see a bunch of splash plays.
I'm telling you this, and it's my guy that I'm wearing. I think if Bijan Robinson gets past Tampa Bay at 19, he could go all the way to the bottom of the board.
Okay.
Because there's so many running backs?
It just seems like to me that he's got that one spot. Like, people could talk about him at Philadelphia at 10.
Yep.
And then it kind of goes down, and then all of a sudden you got Tampa at 19, and you're going, okay, if he doesn't end up at Tampa, now go after that. Start looking at the teams after that situation. I think he could. I think that's the one you have to be ready for if you're the Cowboys, because, like I say, if he gets past Tampa at 19, that could be the slide to you right there.
So that's going to be Bobby's assignment, is figuring out who Tampa Bay is taking and who Philadelphia is taking at 10 and 19.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's been 15 before. So one of the names that's been going up there a lot lately that I just don't buy yet. Maybe
the reason I say they talked about him at 10. That's why I say a guy that
yeah. I don't know the name for me that I'm seeing a lot lately that I just don't buy it yet. I could be wrong. We may get close to it. No, like everybody like that right now is throwing Hendon Hooker in the top 10.
Wow.
That's happening a lot lately.
Zach Mock drafted him.
I think one of
Minnesota. 22.
I think one of your buddies did that. I think Tannenbaum put him at 5 the other day.
Yeah, Tannenbaum did.
And so like there's a lot of people mocking him. The guy that I guess consistently, and I think there's a little shine off him now, that was around 12 to 15 that I think could definitely fall now is Jordan Addison.
Okay.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, I think I've seen Addison falling.
He's a smaller build. He did not test well. He did not look like a great athlete. He already, I think, all the receivers have questions. In theory, that might be one of them. Whatever receiver you think goes in the top 15 might slide. So whether you think that's Quentin Johnston or you think it's Jackson Smith and Jigba or Jordan Addison or whoever, I think they all have the potential to fall.
I'm hearing some buzz from scouts around the league that a lot of these players are standing on their combine numbers.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people
even if they're not great numbers.
So they're just not working out of the pro days.
They just don't want to go through that again. They're not interested in if you're a 4.51 guy. They're not interested in being a 4.45 guy.
Is that turning you off, Aisha?
No, I listen. I try to fill out players because we talked about it, and I didn't understand just the stress of the combine. Yeah. How hard it is on their body, the medical, all that stuff. So I'm not gonna sit up here and act like, granted, it's their career, but I'm not going to sit up here and act like I would want to go through that over and over or a second time. Yeah. But my person is, and this is because of the back stuff, if I'm not mistaken, is Dalton Kincaid going to stay in the top 15 with having back issues as a tight end? Respectfully.
That's a great
point. Was he ever consensus 15 though? I feel like he was like 15 to
There's
20.
a lot of people that talked about him.
Teens.
But if she's right, if he's even if he's like 15 to 20 and all of a sudden the back shows up,
he could slide out of the first round.
Right,
first round.
Yeah. I mean, in that sense, then I think
Musgrave could go above him. Washington could go above him.
If that's the guy, then I can probably spot a few people that are being mocked 15 to 20 right now that I think could slide. But I'm thinking, I guess I was thinking more like closer towards the top.
You're not wrong
about
round. Addison. You're not wrong about Addison.
That's where I look at it. Addison is one that I see. Just any of the receivers, because that's the thing. Johnston, Addison, and Smith and Jigba. I think there's a chance teams ding all of them, and they could end up falling.
What about Christian Gonzalez? Just throwing that name out there.
No.
I like him too much.
I think
he's
my number 2 corner.
Yeah,
and I've liked him more and more throughout the process.
You have Porter above him, right?
Yeah, Porter, Gonzalez, Forbes.
I haven't heard
flopped, but yes,
I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about Gonzalez.
I'd be surprised if Gonzalez fell out of the top 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
I mean, this is but are we forgetting about, because you mentioned Brian Brees. from Clemson. Are we forgetting about Siaki Ika?
Oh, Ika?
Ika.
And I'm not talking about just like, I'm just saying in general. There's
Not
been a lot of
first
talk
round.
about, no, I'm just saying
Yeah.
there's been a lot of talk about Mozzie and what he does and stuff. And I'm just like, this
Zach
dude
would
do
love
the-
that pick.
Dude do the same thing. And
I like the guy too.
At 58.
Yeah.
no, if it, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen on a couple people's boards he's been the second DT.
Yeah.
Out of after Jalen.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, I wondered if he was one of those guys that was in the first round that maybe is sliding.
Sure.
in it, since we're talking about sliding.
Initially that's right because he probably was. Yeah.
That's interesting.
All right, one really quick question. Should we just go to dueling mock drafts?
No, give it to
No,
me.
go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
One word answers.
Yeah, one word answers. Steve Avila, is he worth the pick at 26 over a guy like Osiris Torrance? If he's there. Of course, TCU guard, Steve Avila, and then Osiris Torrance, guard from Florida. Would you take Steve Avila or consider it? I'll say that. Would you consider taking Avila over Torrance?
I like Avila more than Torrance.
Okay.
Avila.
Okay.
Yes.
Same.
I would say no, but I'm just gonna stand out on that limb. All right, so there you go. That was from Aaron. All right, second break coming your way next. When we come back, we've got dueling mock drafts right after this on more of the Draft Show.
Hey Cowboys fans, if you're looking for a full-time or part-time job, check out Liberty Tax, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. If you've got tax experience and want to help your community with their finances, you're the perfect candidate. No tax experience? We also offer in-person tax school courses locally. Liberty Tax has 79 locations across DFW and 2,300 offices nationwide. Learn more about our job opportunities at libertytax.com/hiring or call your local Liberty Tax office today.
Craving something flavorful? Replace that bloated burrito feeling with Smoothie King's new Power Meal Smoothies. With 3 delicious flavors like cinnamon banana, blueberry raspberry, and spinach pineapple, you can fill up on flavor, not calories. Each meal replacement smoothie is packed with 20 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber, and 23 vitamins and minerals, all under 350 calories with 0 grams of added sugar. So next time you want something flavorful, swap fast food for a Power Meal Smoothie. Order today on the Smoothie King app. Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm Darren Woodson, former Dallas Cowboy player and Super Bowl champion. When I played in the NFL at a high level, I relied on my vision to see the field. As I started getting older, I noticed my vision wasn't as good, and I was getting frustrated from wearing my glasses all day. I went to Laser Care Eye Center, and Dr. G talked about all the options. Thanks to technology and Laser Care Eye Center, I can see near, far, and between. Don't fumble your vision any longer. Visit them at dfweyes.com and tell them Darren sent you. They got me back on my game.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, sinking, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show.
Tax season can be more stressful than when the Cowboys are on the clock at 26. Overcome your taxiety today with Liberty Tax, a proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Book an appointment at libertytax.com/Cowboys. And also, this one's for you, Brian. For one night only, music legends Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks will perform
the good die young.
at AT&T Stadium on Saturday, April 8th, 2023. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. Very good.
Go see that show.
That sounds
Billy
like
Joel puts on a hell of a show.
I've heard it's really, really, really
How
good.
was the Stevie Nicks concert you went to back in the day?
In Baton Rouge, she was so hammered she fell off the stool, and they had to cancel the show.
I still love Stevie.
I already knew that story. That's why I asked for it.
That's awesome. All right, final segment. Time to do some dueling mock drafts. We're going to be given 3 different mock drafts in the Cowboys, 3 first-round picks, or first 3 picks, I should say. Zach Wolchuk's going to lead this for us. We're going to go through 3 separate mock drafts. Take it away.
Hold on to your rear.
Yeah.
Buckle up, everybody.
Get ready.
Yeah.
All right, here's the first one. This is courtesy of Jordan Reed from ESPN.
Ooh.
26 overall, Cowboys take Kalijah Cansey, defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh.
Brian's in.
Now, let me give you the names that were still available. Drew Sanders out of Arkansas, Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame, and Brian Breesy, defensive lineman out of Clemson.
Okay.
All right.
Second round, pick 58, Jordan Reed goes Steve Avila.
Ooh.
Guard out of TCU. Who knows if he's able to make it there, but he had him falling.
That's nice.
Right after him, Keon White, edge, Georgia Tech.
Man, tell me I'm wrong about him.
Julius Brents, cornerback, Kansas State.
3rd round.
And Marvin Mims, wide receiver, Oklahoma. 3rd round.
That's who was on the board?
That's who was on the board at 58. The Cowboys went with Avila.
Okay.
Pick 90 in the 3rd round. He has the Cowboys taking Zach Charbonnet, running back out of UCLA.
Ooh, let's go, Bruins.
I like that a lot.
Other options, Byron Young, the Alabama defensive tackle.
Thank you.
Okay.
A.T. Perry, wide receiver, Wake Forest.
You guys are sleeping on him.
Jair Brown, safety, Penn State.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I could do without him.
So those are your 3 picks from Reed. Cansey, Avila, Charbonnet.
Okay.
Now we go to CBS Sports. Chris Trapasso, Bobby's guy.
He's my dude. Love him.
Number 26 overall, Brian Branch, safety / corner out of Alabama. I've got him as a corner. Others have him as a safety.
Is he playing corner for you guys?
He would play corner.
He would play corner for me.
He would play
He'll
corner
play
here.
corner for you. He's gonna be a strong safety for me.
That's fine.
I want him in the
But
box.
that versatility,
I think she's right.
I like.
Yeah.
But no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Should call him out for that.
No, keep calling me out. Brian likes it. Other options. Cannot believe that this dude's available, so I get what you're saying, Bobby. Miles Murphy, defensive end, Clemson.
What?
Told you.
He was there at. Okay.
What are we doing? I told you during the break.
Sorry.
Zay Flowers, wide receiver, Boston College.
Okay.
Jack Campbell, linebacker, Iowa.
Okay. Yeah.
At 58.
Wait. Let me guess. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Please.
It's actually C.J. Stroud. No, I'm just kidding. At 58, Mike Morris, edge, Michigan.
Oh, that's your guy. That's your try-hard guy.
I would have thrown this out already, this mock draft. You also have the options of Isaiah Foskey, edge, Notre Dame.
Foskey.
Cody Malk, guard, North Dakota State.
They passed him.
Luke Musgrave, tight end, Oregon State.
Ooh.
And then at 90, he's got Tucker Kraft, tight end, South Dakota State.
Not a bad player.
Other options, Zach Pickens, defensive tackle, South Carolina.
Good player.
Parker Washington, wide receiver, Penn State.
Short guy.
And how about Chase Brown, running back, Illinois?
That guy's not bad either.
He checks a lot of Dallas's boxes for what they like at running back.
Yeah.
So there's your 3 set from that mock. Brian Branch, Mike Morris, Tucker Kraft. The final one at 26, Ryan Wilson, CBS Sports.
Oh God.
Luke Musgrave, tight end, Oregon State.
I'm in.
I know you are. You love that guy. Other options on the board there, Drew Sanders, Nolan Smith, edge from Georgia, DeJuan Jones, tackle, Ohio State.
What?
Yeah.
Barnacles. Listen.
You're a DeJuan Jones guy, huh?
Yeah, I got some.
At 58, Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle, Georgia.
That's the pick.
That's Mozzie Smith's Michigan.
Sorry, Michigan.
But that's the pick.
That's the pick at 58 for the Cowboys.
Okay.
Other options, Felix Enadike Uzoma, the edge from Kansas State. Love you.
Okay.
J.L. Skinner, safety, Boise State.
Ooh, Aisha.
Or Devin A-Chain, running back, A&M.
Oh, Brian.
I like A-Chain.
I like A-Chain.
And then at 90, to round this out, Cowboys select defensive tackle Jalen Redmond out of Oklahoma.
He's a 5th round.
Whoa. Hold on. They went
Bobby.
Mozzie Smith and then
Jalen Redmond. So there's a double dip for you.
Well, he went 1 and 3 is what he did. He took a 1 technique and
then a
Smith
3 tech.
and a 3 in Redmond.
Redmond.
Yeah. But Redmond can play the 1.
Redmond doesn't have the foot quickness for the 3 to me. I don't see that.
I have him as a
saying.
1, but I think people would probably think he could play 3.
These were other players on the board. The edge, Byron Young from Tennessee.
That's an interesting guy.
I would rather have him.
I'm a fan of his.
Very interesting.
Sidney Brown, safety from Illinois, Aisha. I know you like him.
Yep.
That's
That
Chase's
dude is
twin brother.
That's super tough. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then what about Tank Bigsby, running back Auburn, who I know you like?
I would have
Brian.
taken all 3 of those players over Jalen Redmond.
Same.
At that
I would
spot.
too, but I haven't watched Redmond yet.
Yeah.
You would take him
Okay.
over. You would take him over. All 3 of those.
So there's
guys
your
you would
3
take.
sets. You've got Kalijah Cansey, Steve Avila, Zach Charbonnet. There's your first. Your second option, Brian Branch, Mike Morris, Tucker Kraft. Your third option, Luke Musgrave, and then you're double dipping at defensive line, Mozzie Smith and Jalen Redmond.
All right, Aisha, I want to start with you. Out of those three options, which one would you go with?
Out of those three options, I would be more open to the first one.
Okay.
I can't, like, the rest of them are hurting my feelings. Like, taking a safety at 26, nobody does that anymore.
He's going to be a corner.
I don't care. We got to see it.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't seen him be a corner
That's
yet.
where
I'm on the board. I'm on the board as a safety too.
That's where I think
speaking.
I think this team would put him at corner though.
Okay.
You think they're going to put him at corner? Okay, but what is he going to? Is he a nickel corner?
Yes.
I think that
I think he can
especially
play
I
outside.
think the way they've shown that they use guys who can show flexibility, Deron Bland, J-Ron Curse, guys like I think they would use him in a ton of different ways.
I just think this dude, like, when I watch Brian Branch and you see how many tackles he makes, a lot of the tackles he makes are inside the box. He's not doing
You're right. Not wrong.
a
You're
whole
right.
bunch of coverage stuff. And so it's like, okay, well, like, y'all just signed Donovan Wilson. You want him to be doing the same thing? Not my business. Anyway, that safety thing threw me off. My bad. I can't do it.
But I like the versatility there for the reasons we talked earlier.
Oh, yeah, tracking
where you're losing, possibly another safety with J-Ron Curse if he's here or not, and then all the one-year contracts. And I think he could fill the McQuamu role, possibly, where you've got a guy that can do both. If you have an injury at corner, you can slide him over at corner. If you have an injury at safety, he can play safety. So that versatility I do think is very intriguing.
Yeah, you could play it both ways. Now, outside of Aisha, I'm also taking the first one. And the reason being is I might have taken the last one if they wouldn't have taken Jalen Redmond.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the 1-2 punch of having Musgrave at the top and then Mozzie Smith in the second round. I'd be ecstatic if those were the two. However, I don't like the third round pick.
Who would you have taken over Redmond?
In that out of those
with those
three
options.
names?
Probably
Do you need him again?
Yeah, give me the names again.
Byron Young,
Sidney?
Sidney Brown, Tank Bigsby.
Yeah.
Probably Young or Bigsby. I'd be cool with either
You
one.
gonna take Swiper? I call him Swiper.
Yeah, I would
Sidney
take
Brown.
Byron Young out of Tennessee.
I would love that pick. At 90, having a player like that, he could play significant snaps for you year number one.
Big
Where's
fan of that
Cody,
kid.
where's
I
Cody
would make it
Malk
work.
though? Was he in the second one or the third one?
He wasn't. He was available at 58 in the second.
He was
one,
in
but
the
he
sec-
wasn't. He wasn't.
And they
the
took
pick.
Mozzie.
Yeah.
No, they took Mike Morris.
They took
in that one.
Morris.
Oh, that
the
was
second
the
one.
Trapasso mock. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
And I would take Cody Malk way over Mike Morris.
If you had,
I bet you would take Miles Murphy at 26. Too.
yeah, me too.
let me tell you what.
Yeah, probably would have too.
She asked an interesting question because the Branch mock Kraft one would be a pretty interesting one if you did that.
That would have been my selection.
If you're doing Malk at the second round,
If you took Branch wherever you're going to play him,
Yep.
wherever you're going to play him,
Sure.
because he can play. But Morris does nothing for me.
No, I think he's terrible.
I think I'm out on that
Malk does, and Foskey and those guys. He doesn't do anything for me either.
Be Kraft in the third round's a
It
nice
would
pick,
be
too.
a very good pick.
Very intriguing.
I categorize him as moldable. It's like he can do
There
a
you go.
little bit of everything. If he gets it, if Lunda Wells gets a hold of a guy like him,
Yeah.
we could see him really flourish with some good coaching. I like him.
Playing devil's advocate to that, is this a team that needs a moldable tight end, or do you already have two of those with Ferguson and Hendershot? Do you need a guy that's ready-made to come in and be the best guy in the room?
Well, no.
Okay.
No, and I mean, no, because I don't think that's how they look at it. They like to develop their tight ends and kind of make them what they want them to be. I just think he has, like I said, he has the athleticism. He can block here or there. He has some receiving qualities. Like, he has a little bit of everything. So you could kind of, figure out how you want him to be in your offense if you want him to be, like exactly what he wants to do. I don't think he just particularly does one thing well right now.
I think he would end up being the number one tight end by the end of his rookie year.
Because he has all
can
the.
see
Because
that.
he has. I think
Yeah.
he just has a lot to work with if you have a good coach.
And I think he can stretch the field more so than Ferguson, but he's a much better blocker than Hendershot.
That's fair.
Do you have a second-round grade on him or a third-round grade?
I would be comfortable taking Kraft in the second, but I think third is probably
Third's
perfect.
probably better. I have a 2-3 on him, so
Yes.
I'm right in the middle.
I'm late second.
What would you do, Bobby?
What, Bobby? Oh, look at his face.
The problem is on the first two. I'm not crazy about the first pick.
With Cansey?
Yeah, and I don't think Avila's getting to 58. I don't think Charbonnet's getting to 90. So,
but in this scenario,
That's why it makes it a great draft.
no. Look. If I'm able to swap people out, the second one I'm taking Miles Murphy at 26. I'm taking Musgrave at 58, and
We're having a party.
I'm too drunk to care when 90 comes around. It doesn't matter. But honestly,
Yeah.
probably Probably the first. Cansey, Avila, Charbonnet.
Okay. Brian?
What do you got?
You don't think Charbonnet makes it to 90?
No. I think he's a second-round back.
No, I think Charbonnet. Like
I've
Dane
early second.
Dane even talked about this the other day. Dane was like, if he had a little more speed, he's going in the first.
He's my number 3 runner.
He's mine too.
Yeah, easy.
Y'all really like him?
I like him a lot. I was blown away at how quick and he can do everything at 6'1". I mean, he could be the Derrick Henry type of player that you get in the second round. Now, that's high praise, but he's a big
James
back
Conner.
that can do everything for you.
Cowboys have consistently drafted bigger backs during Will McClay's time here.
He's so tall.
They get, I know, but I mean, you look at some of the running backs they've taken over the years. Bo Scarborough was 6'3", Darius Jackson was 6'1", Zeke was 6, Pollard 6. They draft bigger backs.
Charbonnet only came in at 6 of the combine. He was 6 foot 214, 6 even. So
did you say he looked like Darren McFadden?
I said he's a tall. That's the only tall runner I've ever seen like that.
Is he 6'2"?
Darren McFadden. He looks so tall when he's running the ball. It's just so it's different. When I first turned him on, I was like,
upright runner.
He's
like he's sitting in a chair.
He's an upright runner, and so that's what I was asking. That's why I was asking is like, is that something that you look that is okay for a running back? I'm asking y'all.
Yeah, I think he could be this year's Dameon Pierce, where you take him in the second or third, and he ends up being maybe the best, most productive runner, period, outside of Bijan, who, depending on the fit he goes to, Bijan's the most talented. But you talk about a guy outside of the first round that's going to give you elite type of production. I think Zach Charbonnet can be that guy.
Okay.
So your draft of Murphy, Mock, and Kraft would be.
I mean, if I could swap them out, yeah, I'll take Miles Murphy at 26, Musgrave at 58, and then I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't need Tucker Kraft at that point. Probably Chase Brown out of those
I can't
options.
believe that Murphy got to me because I have him as a first round grade.
Won't.
I think he's a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
he won't get to you.
What do you have, Brian Branch?
Thanks for
Just
Paso.
curious. What,
second round.
You have a second on him?
Yep, second round on Branch.
You taking Kalijah Cansey over respectfully over Drew Sanders?
Yes, I would. Oof. I have a first round grade on Cansey.
Y'all, why y'all gotta? That's why I asked why y'all gotta. Why you gotta do like that? Cause Bobby really don't like Kalijah Cansey at 26. Would you be cool with Drew Sanders at 26 and as opposed?
Kalijah Cansey's fine. I do like Drew Sanders. I mean, Kalijah Cansey's fine. It's just
I'd take Mayer.
Yeah,
Notre Dame.
Out of those options, Mayer's the best player for me.
Sanders.
See, you're leaving first, and the alternates. You're leaving first round players on the board for me. When you start talking about Mayer, Murphy, guys like that, I'm gonna like
Murphy. I don't think realistically is making it, even though he slid an mock too. He ended up making it all the way to Tampa Bay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So the way I have him ranked right now is Cansey 19, Mayer is 20. And Drew Sanders is 21.
Oh, they're stacked.
They're literally all touching tags.
I don't know what it is about Cansey. Like, I like him. I think he's a good player. But I just think he's been overhyped during this process because he blew up the combine.
So with his comparison that everybody keeps
giving
the comparison to Aaron Donald,
and he's not
because of the
school.
helmet. It's the school. It's the lack of length, the lack of size, everything else. It does not. It shows up a lot more on tape, his lack of length, than it did with Donald ever did. And I think the NFL bulk on the interior is going to give him problems.
I'm just going to say this, and you guys might remember this. Sorry about my watch again. Ed Oliver, Houston, Buffalo, short guy. You know all that. Ed Oliver's a good player.
That's a better comp than Donald is.
Yeah. To me, you start to think about guys that are playing, that you're starting to play.
Kyle was on it too.
Submitted to the draft magazine. It
there you go, baby.
Magazine.
I think Ed Oliver would be a guy, and I thought Ed Oliver was going to be a wrecker of.
Oliver had better length though. Like I mean,
shorter guy.
I know,
but he had the arms were
6'2" to 6'1". The arms were an inch longer. He played longer. I think Cansey doesn't play. I mean, that's just
no. I like I say, and I agree with you about the whole thing. Like I say, I would trade out Mayer for Cansey if it was me, and I would probably even trade out. I would trade out Sanders for him.
That's what I was about to say. That's how I feel about
it.
Like,
I don't hate Kalijah Cansey. I just wouldn't. I don't think I'd like him at 26.
No.
After watching him, like initially, I want to say a couple weeks ago, I was really high on him, but I rewatched him again, and I was like, I can't just. It's so hard at DT. You got to be able to. You got to really be a guy to get taken in the first round. To me, like that, I just feel like that's how I feel about it.
If they picked him, if Quinn liked him, and what Quinn has done with defensive tackles throughout his time and defensive linemen in general, then I'm going to trust they know what they're looking at and that he's going to perform well. I don't know that would be the best pick on the board.
That's why picking Branch would make sense to me because I think they'd figure out a way.
I think the Branch thing makes sense. But if they took Morris at 58, like, do I like the player? No, but I'd trust the Cowboys to figure out a way to make that work.
Do you wonder if they're with the DT position with how Dan Quinn, since he's come here, most of the DTs they've gotten, besides Hankins, who they brought in because they had to have had pass rush ability, have had like that twitchiness. Do you think that they're going to maybe not veer from that, but try something different, saying that Neville Gallimore isn't what you expected? You have to move Chauncey Golston inside to do, some run-stopping things. Do you think maybe they have started, especially re-signing Hankins, they're seeing that a big DT is not a pass rushy guy is maybe what they need for
it's
this
a beneficial thing.
Yeah, I wonder. That's the only thing about like a Kalijah Cansey and some of these other guys, even the dude from Bowling Green. I'm like, are you gonna go down that route again when you have not seen that much success? Like Osa's just now coming along from pass rushy DTs and stopping the run.
Yeah, a change in the mentality, a change in the philosophy with that. You could be seeing the switch of it because they value big-time guys in the middle, which is why I think Mozzie Smith is an option at 58. If they wanted to pick him, he would fit that big, beefy interior defensive lineman that they've needed. You could. I think you're right on it. I think you're spot on. I was just wondering, like with Cansey, that's why I just don't see it with Cansey. I don't think he fits. Maybe what they're trying to veer more towards from the DT position.
I can see that.
That was fun. Good idea, Zach. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, we will be back next week, Wednesday and Thursday.
This bleep hole over here.
Was it Brian's idea?
No, it wasn't Brian's idea.
Oh, no, he's just
usually they are Brian.
Salute. That's more. What
was it cringy?
Yeah, it was.
All right, I'll never do it again.
All right, go Rangers. Go Mean Green. Happy opening day. Happy NIT Finals, everybody. Have fun at the Final Four. We'll be back for more draft talk next Wednesday. For Chris Beam, Bobby Belt, Brian Broaddus, Zach Wolchuk, Aisha Morrison, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long. We'll see you next week on The Draft Show.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!